I never thought I'd be sharing this, but here goes. I'm Daniel, 35, a software developer and the youngest in a family obsessed with appearances. My mother, Evelyn, practically worships my older siblings, Robert, the perfect doctor, and Sarah, the flawless influencer. Me? I'm the black sheep, constantly reminded I don't measure up. We live on this huge estate, and it feels like I'm always trying to earn a place I already occupy. I've spent my life chasing her approval only to be met with, well, you'll see. I just don't understand why I can never be enough. The summer barbecue was in full swing, the air thick with forced laughter and the smell of overpriced grilled meats. Evelyn, in her usual spot at the head of the patio table, raised her glass. To Robert, saving lives, and Sarah, captivating the world, you both make me so proud. My stomach dropped to my knees. Then she turned to me, a saccharine smile plastered on her face. And Daniel, well, every family has won a disappointment. The words hung in the air, each syllable a tiny shard of glass piercing my skin. Around me, polite chuckles rippled through the crowd. I'd just given her a custom home theater system, something she'd been hinting at for months. My hands trembled so badly I had to grip my glass to keep it from shattering. "Mom," I managed, my voice barely a whisper. "Really?" She waved a dismissive hand. "Oh, darling, you're making a big deal out of nothing. It was a joke. Lighten up." Robert chuckled, patting me on the back a little too hard. "Come on, Danny, don't be so sensitive. After everything we've done for you," a cold wave washed over me, stealing the air from my lungs. Was I really that worthless? Was I really just a punchline? The carefully constructed facade of family harmony crumbled around me, revealing the ugly truth I'd tried so hard to ignore. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was a pattern. This wasn't about me. It was about her need to put me down. The realization hit me like a physical blow. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. I was so tired of it. So tired. Later that evening, after everyone had left, I found her in the garden admiring her roses. "Mom, can we talk?" My voice was shaking despite my attempts to sound composed. She sighed dramatically, snipping a dead bloom. "Daniel, must you? I'm exhausted. What is it now?" "About what you said earlier, it really hurt." She turned, her eyes hardening. "Oh, for God's sake, Daniel, are we doing this? I said I was joking. You're always so dramatic. Always making a mountain out of a molehill." "It's not just this, Mom, it's everything. You always do this." My heart pounded like a drum against my ribs, my throat closed up, words trapped inside. "Do what? Speak the truth. Robert is a doctor, Sarah is famous, and you, well, you play with computers. It's not exactly saving the world, is it?" "I'm successful. I built that system for you. It's not fair." "Fair? Life isn't fair, Daniel. And frankly, if you spent less time coding and more time networking, maybe you'd understand that. So my accomplishments don't matter. Not compared to your siblings, no. They make something of themselves. They are important people." My face burned with humiliation. I felt like I was shrinking, becoming smaller and smaller under her gaze. "We're family. Shouldn't we support each other?" I asked, the words laced with a desperate plea. "Of course we do, darling, but sometimes tough love is necessary." She turned back to her roses, dismissing me. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a garden to tend to." I stood there for a moment, the anger and hurt swirling inside me, a toxic cocktail of emotions. What was the point? It was never going to change. I was never going to be good enough. Was it me? Was I truly just a disappointment? Maybe she was right. But as I walked away, a tiny voice whispered in the back of my mind. Maybe, just maybe, the problem wasn't me. A week later, a group text chimed. "Evelyn, family dinner Sunday, 6 p.m. sharp. Robert has exciting news." My stomach churned. I stared at the screen. Why was I still putting up with this? The following weekend, I found myself pulling into the driveway. The sprawling mansion loomed, a monument to everything I resented. Inside, the air was thick with perfume and expectation. Robert beamed, Sarah posed for selfies, and Evelyn surveyed the scene like a queen. "Daniel, so glad you could make it," Evelyn chirped, her tone falsely bright. She gestured to the buffet. "Help yourself, though I doubt you appreciate fine cuisine like your brother." I forced a smile, grabbing a plate. Robert cleared his throat. "So, as Mom mentioned, I have an announcement. I'm taking a position as head of cardiology at St. Jude's." Applause erupted. Evelyn beamed. See, Daniel, that's what real success looks like. Sarah chimed in, filming the whole scene. So proud, Dr. Goal's family first, a tension headache pounded behind my eyes. Evelyn turned to me, her voice dripping with faux concern. And how's your little hobby going, dear? It's not a hobby, Mom, it's my career. Of course, dear. Whatever makes you happy. Remember when you were little and so obsessed with those computers? You were always such a little nerd. A flashback, age 10, showing Evelyn my new program. That's nice, dear, now go outside and play, Sarah snickered. Yeah, you were always glued to a screen. The passive-aggressive jabs were relentless. Robert added, speaking of careers, Mom was saying she needs help with the estate finances. Maybe you could lend a hand, Dan. You're good with numbers, right? They were all in on it, my hands clenched into fists. Remember family dinners, holidays, birthdays, always feeling invisible. A wave of nausea washed over me. I realized I was trembling. I'm actually really busy with a project right now, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I don't have the bandwidth, Evelyn frowned. But family comes first, Daniel. It does. But I also have to prioritize my own well-being. I set down my plate half-eaten. I actually need to get going. I have an early start tomorrow. But you just got here, Evelyn protested. Yes, stay a while, Robert insisted. I shook my head. Thanks for the invitation. Congratulations, Robert. I walked towards the door, ignoring the chorus of protests. I'll see you all later. With each step, the pressure in my chest eased. I was setting a boundary, one small act of defiance at a time. A week later, my phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. Hesitantly, I answered. Hello, Daniel, it's Carol, Aunt Carol. My breath hitched. Aunt Carol was Evelyn's older sister, the one who dared to have her own opinions, the one who was subsequently banished from the family in her circle years ago. Aunt Carol, how did you get my number? Never you mind about that, darling. I have my ways. More importantly, I heard about the barbecue and I wanted to check on you. My throat tightened. It's fine, everything's fine. I minimized automatically. Daniel, her voice was firm but kind. Don't lie to your old auntie. Evelyn hasn't changed a bit, has she? I hesitated, then caved. It was rough. The usual, she called me a disappointment, in front of everyone. I hated admitting it aloud. There was a pause. Oh, honey, she finally said, her voice filled with genuine sympathy. I'm so sorry. That woman, she's been doing that for years, decades actually. Years? Oh, yes. Even when we were kids, she had to be the center of attention, the one who was praised. Anyone who threatened that, well, she'd cut them down to size. I fell afoul of that a few times. I shifted uncomfortably. I don't know, Aunt Carol. Maybe I am just too sensitive. Maybe she's right. Daniel, listen to me. That's the manipulation talking. That's what she wants you to believe. Evelyn's been building herself up by tearing others down for as long as I can remember. It's a deeply ingrained pattern. It's not you, sweetheart, it's her. But she's my mother, and a deeply flawed human being. Just because she gave birth to you doesn't give her the right to treat you like that. Family doesn't get a free pass to be abusive. Have you ever noticed how she only praises Robert and Sarah when others are around? It's all for show, all about appearances. She needs the validation of others. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Daniel, that's actually not normal family behavior. Healthy families support each other, they don't constantly compete and belittle. You realize that's manipulative, right? Making you feel worthless so she can feel superior. If anyone else treated you that way, would you accept it? I thought about my friends, my colleagues. No, of course not. Exactly. You deserve to be treated with basic respect, Daniel, by everyone, including your mother. You've spent your entire life trying to earn her love and approval, and she's been using that against you. It's time to stop. Another wave of clarity washed over me, stronger than before. It's hard. I want her to be proud of me. I know, honey, I know. But some people are simply incapable of giving what you need, and clinging to that hope will only cause you more pain. You need to prioritize your own well-being, Daniel. Focus on the people who do appreciate you for who you are. Stop seeking validation from someone who is incapable of giving it. We talked for another hour, and as I listened to her, I felt a weight lifting from my shoulders, years of guilt and self-doubt slowly dissolving. She shared stories from her own childhood, instances where Evelyn had subtly undermined her, always needing to be the best, the brightest, the most admired. It was a pattern, a lifelong habit, not a reflection of my worth. You know what, Daniel? She did the same thing with me. I just didn't figure it out until I was older. By the end of the conversation, something had shifted inside me. A resolve hardened, a quiet determination to protect myself, to finally put my own needs first. "Thank you, Aunt Carol," I said, my voice thick with emotion. I don't know what to say. "Just take care of yourself, darling, and remember you are not alone. I'm here if you need me. Anytime. You deserve to be happy, Daniel. Don't let anyone, not even your mother, take that away from you." After hanging up, I sat in silence for a long time. I thought about everything she had said, about the years of subtle put-downs, the constant comparisons, the never-ending feeling of inadequacy. Evelyn would never change. She was who she was. But I could change. I could stop playing her game. I stood up, a newfound sense of purpose filling me. It was time to take control, to stop seeking approval from someone incapable of giving it, to finally prioritize my own well-being. A plan began to form in my mind, a way to protect myself, to finally break free from the cycle of manipulation and control. It wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in my life, I felt a glimmer of hope. A hope that maybe, just maybe, I could finally be free. The phone rang. "Evelyn," I almost didn't answer. "Daniel, darling, I need your help." Her voice was saccharine but strained. "What is it, Mom?" I asked, bracing myself. "It's complicated," a pause heavy with manufactured drama. "I'm in a bit of a bind, financially. Here it comes." "What kind of bind?" I asked, my voice flat. "Well, some investments didn't pan out. And I need a substantial sum, quickly." "How substantial?" Another pause. 500,000. My breath caught in my throat. 500,000. "Mom, that's a lot of money." "I know, darling, but it's an emergency. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't. Think of everything I've done for you. Your upbringing, the house, your education. The years of emotional manipulation, the constant criticism, the blatant favoritism, all flashed before my eyes. Mom, I don't have that kind of money just lying around." Though technically I did. Savings from years of diligent work. Money I'd earmarked for my own future. "Daniel, please, it's your duty as a son. Family comes first. You wouldn't want me to lose everything, would you?" Her voice rose in pitch, bordering on hysterical. "Everything I've worked for, all I've built for this family, you owe me this." "Owe you?" The words tasted like ash in my mouth. Years of resentment, of suppressed anger bubbled to the surface. I saw her clearly now. Not a loving mother, but a master manipulator, a user of people, a black hole of need. I thought of Aunt Carol's words. "She needs the validation of others always." My hands started to shake. I looked around my apartment, a space I'd created, a life I'd built separate from her. Then a sensation, a snap, something broke inside me. A dam burst, releasing years of pent-up pain and frustration. Clarity flooded my mind. Ice replaced the fire, no more. My posture straightened, my shoulders went back. My voice, when I spoke, was calm, steady, unwavering. "No, Mom." Silence. Then a choked gasp. "What did you say?" I said no. "I'm not giving you $500,000. "Daniel, how dare you, after everything I've done?" "You haven't done anything for me, Mom. You've used me, you've belittled me, you've made me feel worthless my entire life. And I'm done. I'm not enabling you anymore." "You ungrateful." "No, Mom, you're the ungrateful one. You've taken everything and given nothing. I'm done. This is it. I'm done." The line went dead. I stared at the phone in my hand, a strange sense of calm washing over me. Relief, and beneath it a fierce, burning resolve. I am not a disappointment. I am not worthless. I am not responsible for her happiness. I will not be manipulated. I will not be controlled. I will not be used. My decision was made, final, inevitable. I'm done being her ATM and punching bag. I am going to protect myself. Now, the first step: documentation. Daniel spent hours meticulously gathering evidence. Screenshots of condescending texts, emails where Evelyn dismissed his career, even old family photos where she subtly cropped him out. He found a few voicemails saved years ago with cutting remarks he'd almost forgotten. He wanted proof. Proof of a pattern, proof for himself, and for anyone who dared accuse him of exaggeration. Next, professional backup. His therapist helped him anticipate Evelyn's manipulation tactics: guilt trips, emotional outbursts, threats. They role-played scenarios, practicing responses, building his emotional armor. The financial advisor laid out a clear picture of Evelyn's mismanagement, confirming she'd been bleeding her assets dry for years. A lawyer drafted a letter, outlining his decision to limit financial support and explore alternative care options, ensuring everything was legally sound. He researched elder care facilities, comparing costs, amenities, and care levels. He learned about narcissistic personality disorder, understanding Evelyn's behavior with clinical detachment. He needed to be prepared. He needed to be strong. He secured his own financial assets, separating his accounts from hers, ensuring his future was protected. He gathered important documents, birth certificate, social security card, proof of income. Small details but crucial for establishing his independence. He crafted a detailed plan, contingencies for every possible reaction. If she screamed, he'd remain calm. If she cried, he wouldn't cave. If she threatened to disown him, he'd accept it. He was ready, mostly. Clothing, neutral, gray suit, non-threatening but authoritative. Relaxation, deep breathing exercises, meditation. He needed to project strength, not anger. Then Carol. Daniel, Aunt Carol's voice was warm over the phone. How are you holding up? Okay, he lied. Nervous. That's understandable, darling. Just remember what we talked about. This isn't about fixing Evelyn. It's about protecting yourself. I know, but what if I'm making a mistake? What if I regret this? Regret is part of the process, but the regret of continuing down this path, of sacrificing your well-being for someone who will never appreciate it, will be far greater. You're doing the right thing, Daniel. You're finally standing up for yourself. I'm so proud of you. Thanks, Aunt Carol. That means a lot. One last thing, she added. Don't expect her to understand. Don't expect her to apologize. Narcissists rarely do. Just focus on delivering your message and leaving. Don't get drawn into a debate. Okay, I'll try. You've got this, Daniel. I believe in you. He hung up, her words echoing in his mind. He double-checked the letter in his briefcase, the address of the vacation home programmed into his GPS. He took a deep breath. It was time. He approached the sprawling, secluded vacation home. Sunlight glinted off the pristine windows. This was it, no turning back. He parked the car, took a final, centering breath and stepped out. He walked toward the imposing front door. He was ready. He had to be. The vacation home was sterile, all white and glass, perched precariously on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Evelyn stood in the living room, arms crossed, radiating impatience. Her face was tight, lips pursed. Robert and Sarah hovered nervously behind her, casting wary glances at Daniel and his lawyer. The air crackled with unspoken tension. So, you decided to show up after all, Evelyn said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. I thought you abandoned us. Daniel met her gaze, unflinching. I have something to say, Mom. This is my lawyer, Mr. Evans. He nodded to the man beside him who held a slim briefcase. I think you should hear it. Evelyn scoffed. A lawyer? Really, Daniel? Are you suing me now? I can't believe you would do this. Robert and Sarah exchanged nervous glances. Daniel opened the briefcase and handed Evelyn the letter. Please read this. She snatched the letter, her eyes scanning the page. As she read, the color drained from her face. Her mouth worked silently. Robert and Sarah leaned in, trying to decipher the contents. What is this? Evelyn stammered, her voice trembling. You're putting me in a home after everything I've done for you. You are an ungrateful monster. Mom, please lower your voice, Daniel said, his tone calm but firm. This isn't a negotiation, this is a decision. A decision? You can't make this decision. I am your mother. You owe me everything. I'm not doing this to hurt you, Mom, but I will no longer enable you. I've arranged for you to stay in a very nice facility with excellent care. It's time to take care of yourself. Excellent care. You think some stranger can care for me like my own son. You're abandoning me just like your father did. That's not fair, Mom. Robert stepped forward, his face flushed. Daniel, have you lost your mind? This is our mother. You can't just stick her in some old folks' home. This facility is actually extremely luxurious and highly rated. And Robert, where were you when she needed help balancing her checkbook? Daniel asked. Sarah started filming with her phone. This is going on social media, Daniel. Everyone needs to see what you're doing to Mom. Heartless son family betrayal. Put the phone down, Sarah, Daniel said, his voice dangerously low. This isn't content for your followers, this is our family. Evelyn burst into tears, clutching her chest. How can you do this to me, Daniel? I'm your mother, I gave you life. Daniel met her tearful gaze, unmoved. And you've made my life a living hell. Those tactics don't work on me anymore. I'm done sacrificing my well-being for your comfort. Evelyn's face contorted with rage. You think you're so smart, don't you? Playing with your computers, thinking you're better than us. You'll regret this, Daniel. You'll be sorry. Regret finally having peace? I doubt it. Daniel paused. This isn't about money or care, Mom. It's about control, and you've lost it. Robert lunged forward, grabbing Daniel's arm. You listen to your mother. She needs us. Daniel gently but firmly removed Robert's hand. She needs professional help, Robert. Something you can't give her. Sarah, seeing her initial tactic fail, tried a different approach. Her voice softened, dripping with false concern. Daniel, please, think about what you're doing. We're a family. We need to stick together. You only want to stick together when it benefits you, Sarah. I'm done playing this game. Evelyn, realizing her tears weren't working, switched back to anger. You'll never be happy, Daniel. You'll die alone, just like your father. You will regret this. Daniel looked at her, really looked at her, and saw not a loving mother but a deeply unhappy, manipulative woman. He felt a pang of sadness but no guilt. I doubt that. I choose to be happy. Daniel turned to leave. He turned back. The arrangements are made. Mr. Evans will be in contact with the facility to coordinate your move. I suggest you cooperate. He walked to the door, his head held high. Daniel. Evelyn screamed, her voice cracking with rage and desperation. Don't you dare walk away from me. Daniel paused at the doorway, turned back to Evelyn, and said in a voice clear and strong, This ends now. I'm not asking, I'm telling you, and I'm leaving. He turned and walked out, leaving Evelyn, Robert, and Sarah standing in stunned silence. The click of the door closing echoed through the sterile house, a sound of finality. And for the first time in his life, Daniel felt free. The car ride home was a blur. Daniel barely registered the winding roads, the setting sun, the ocean stretching out beside him. He felt numb, disconnected from his body. He pulled into his apartment complex, parked the car, and sat there for a long moment, staring at the steering wheel. He felt exhausted, completely drained. He got out of the car and walked slowly to his apartment, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. The familiar space, usually a sanctuary, felt alien. He wandered through the rooms, touching objects, trying to ground himself. He sat on the couch, his head in his hands. The weight of the day, the years of accumulated pain pressed down on him. He needed to move, do something. He got up, went to the kitchen, and poured himself a glass of water. His hands were still shaking. He went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on his face, and looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes were red-rimmed, his face pale. He looked like he'd aged 10 years. He wandered back into the living room, picked up his guitar, and started to play. A slow, mournful melody filled the room. He played for hours, lost in the music, letting the emotions flow through him. Eventually, exhaustion overtook him. He put the guitar down, stumbled into bed, and fell into a restless sleep. Dreams of Evelyn, of the vacation home, of the confrontation, swirled through his mind. He woke up several times, gasping for air, his heart pounding. The next morning, he woke up feeling raw and fragile. He made himself a cup of coffee and sat on the balcony, watching the city wake up. The sun was shining, the sky was blue. Life went on, oblivious to the turmoil within him. He checked his phone. Several missed calls and texts from Robert and Sarah. He ignored them. He needed space. He needed time to process. He called Aunt Carol. She answered on the first ring. How did it go? She asked, her voice filled with concern. It's done, he said, his voice hoarse. I did it. Oh, Daniel, she said softly, I'm so proud of you. It was awful. She screamed, she cried, she threatened. Robert and Sarah were there trying to guilt me, film me. Everything you said would happen happened. I'm not surprised, but you stood your ground. Yes, I gave her the letter, I told her my decision, and I walked away. Good for you, that took incredible strength. I don't feel strong, he admitted. I feel empty and scared. That's normal, darling. You've just made a huge change in your life. It's going to take time to adjust. Be gentle with yourself, allow yourself to grieve. And remember, you're not alone. Thanks, Aunt Carol. I don't know what I would have done without you. You would have found a way. You're stronger than you think. Just focus on taking care of yourself, Daniel, and don't let them drag you back into their drama. You've earned your peace. I'll try, he said. I really will. It's been 3 months since that day. The immediate fallout was intense. Robert and Sarah bombarded him with calls and texts, accusing him of being cruel, selfish, and heartless. They tried to guilt him, shame him, manipulate him into changing his mind. He blocked their numbers. The extended family chimed in, some siding with Evelyn, some expressing cautious support for Daniel, most just wanting to avoid the drama. He became the subject of whispered conversations, judgmental stares, and passive-aggressive comments at family gatherings. He stopped attending them. Evelyn initially refused to cooperate with the move to the care facility, but eventually, with the help of Mr. Evans, she was transferred. She continued to call Daniel, leaving angry, tearful voicemails, demanding that he change his mind. He listened to a few, then stopped. He couldn't subject himself to her toxicity anymore. Slowly, things began to shift. The constant barrage of messages subsided. The gossip died down. The dust settled. Daniel found himself with more time, more energy, more space in his life. He focused on his work, throwing himself into coding, finding satisfaction in creating something tangible, something that was his own. He reconnected with old friends, people who valued him for who he was, not for his family connections or his financial resources. He took up hiking, spending weekends exploring the nearby mountains, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the sun on his skin. He started cooking again, experimenting with new recipes, finding joy in nourishing his body. He went back to therapy, processing his emotions, learning to set healthy boundaries, and challenging his own negative thought patterns. He started painting, abstract works reflecting his turbulent emotions. He realized he missed cooking, so he took a class. He learned to tango. He discovered he had a knack for gardening. He slept better. He laughed more. He felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. Not everything was perfect. He still had moments of doubt, moments of sadness, moments of anger. He still missed the idea of having a loving, supportive mother. He still struggled with the ingrained belief that he wasn't good enough. But now, he had the tools to cope. He knew that his worth wasn't defined by Evelyn's approval. He knew that he deserved to be treated with respect. He knew that he had the power to create his own happiness. Robert and Sarah remained distant, unwilling to acknowledge Daniel's perspective. They continued to support Evelyn, enabling her behavior, perpetuating the cycle of dysfunction. He accepted that they might never understand, but some members of the extended family reached out, cautiously at first, then with increasing warmth. A cousin whom he hadn't spoken to in years shared her own experiences with Evelyn's manipulation, validating his feelings. An uncle sent him a supportive email praising his courage. Aunt Carol remained his steadfast ally, a constant source of wisdom and encouragement. She visited him regularly, sharing stories, laughing, and reminding him of his worth. Evelyn remained in the care facility, receiving adequate care. She never apologized, never acknowledged her behavior. She continued to believe that she was the victim, that Daniel had betrayed her. Daniel visited her occasionally, out of a sense of obligation, but he kept the visits short and superficial. He refused to engage in arguments, refused to be drawn into her drama. He maintained his boundaries, protecting his peace. One day, he received a letter from Evelyn. It was a long, rambling diatribe filled with accusations, insults, and self-pity. He read it, then calmly tore it up. He was done. He learned. He was not responsible for anyone's happiness. He grew. He no longer needed her approval. He now felt calm, focused, free. He understood. He now knew that what others feel about him is none of his business. He had peace. He had a new life. He was free. Looking back, Daniel marvels at how far he's come. He's learned that family isn't always blood, that self-worth comes from within, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. He's discovered passions he never knew he had, and built a life that is truly his own. He now knows the importance of setting boundaries. He accepts the need to protect himself. He understands that his happiness is his responsibility. His current emotional state is one of quiet strength and profound self-acceptance. He still has moments of sadness, but they no longer consume him. He still misses the mother he never had, but he no longer longs for her approval. He is content with who he is, with the life he has created, with the man he has become. But there's still one thing that lingers: the constant worry about Evelyn. About her well-being, about her loneliness, about the possibility that she might never understand. He knows he can't fix her, he can't change her, but he can't shake the feeling that he's somehow responsible. He is constantly battling with the question of whether to maintain a minimal level of contact or to cut ties completely. He's not sure what the right answer is, and the other members of his family are in denial. She's just getting old, they say. Have any of you ever dealt with a similar situation? How do you cope with the guilt and worry, even when you know you've done the right thing? Is it ever possible to truly let go of a toxic family member, or will they always hold a piece of your heart? What do you do when other family members don't understand and refuse to change? What do you do when they try to bring you back into the cycle?